Do you realize the most terrifying moment is truly not the arrival of death itself, but rather the instant we realize we are being crushed within this eternal machine? This is the colossal wheel of Samsara, where all things are born and turn into ashes. How can we escape this fate? Let us journey back against the flow of time right now. We shall discover the origin of all suffering through the 12 links of dependent origination. The story begins when the final breath fades away and the soul departs from the mortal flesh. We drift aimlessly into the misty illusion of the Bardo realm, forgetting who we are. Surrounded by the cold void, the memories of previous lives begin to slowly fade away. Suddenly, a powerful wind of karma sweeps us away towards a strange and mysterious light. Before our eyes appear, the 12 links rotating to imprison every sentient being. The first link is ignorance, depicted by the image of a blind and elderly man. He gropes with every trembling step upon the treacherous path beside the deep abyss. His eyes are covered by a thick curtain, unable to see the brilliance of the sunlight. Just like us wandering through lifetimes without understanding the ultimate truth of life. Unable to see the path, the blind man walks on, unaware he is about to fall down deep. Ignorance is not a lack of knowledge, but a misunderstanding of the nature of reality. We mistake the self as real, mistaking impermanent things for eternal happiness. It is this very blindness that has led us onto erroneous paths filled with danger. The old man trips over a stone and falls, but then struggles to crawl up and continue. The cane in his hand taps a steady rhythm like the ticking of the clock of destiny. Darkness envelops him, yet he still believes he is walking towards happiness and peace. Ignorance is truly the father of all afflictions, the start of long days of suffering. From that blindness, we begin to act, leading to the second link, volitional formations. The image of a potter diligently molding clay beside an old and worn-out spinning wheel. The clay represents fate, while the hands of the potter are our will and our actions. If our mind is wholesome, the potter will shape vases that are round, perfect, and beautiful. But if our mind is malicious, the vase becomes distorted and cracked from its inception. The wheel keeps spinning without rest, creating the momentum to push us drifting forward. All thoughts, words, and deeds from the past are being molded and shaped right here in this place. We cannot deny what we have created, regardless of whether the work is beautiful or ugly. Potter wipes sweat from his forehead, gazing at the long rows of vases in the storehouse. That is the vast treasure of karma we have accumulated from countless past lifetimes. These vases contain seeds waiting for the opportunity to germinate in the future. Creation is done, karmic energy begins to drive consciousness to find a place to dwell. And so we move to the third link called consciousness, depicted by the image of a monkey. Look at the golden monkey jumping restlessly by the window of the desolate house. It never sits still in one place, just as our consciousness remains forever agitated. The monkey swings from one branch to another, searching for new and exotic sweet fruits to eat. Likewise, consciousness passes from one life to another, seeking a new physical body. Attracted by the light of desire, it rushes into the womb to begin a new cycle. The monkey grips the window bars, peering curiously into the colorful material world. Curiosity and the thirst for existence have bound it to a specific finite form. The moment the monkey jumps into the house is when the new seed of life is officially sown. Consciousness enters the womb, combining with essence to create the next name and form. The fourth link appears as name and form, likened to a boatman on a misty river. The wooden boat represents the body, while the passenger seated upon it is the mind. Both rely on each other to cross the vast river of birth and death with no shore in sight. Without the boat, the guest sinks. Without the guest, the boat shall drift aimlessly in the void. In the womb, body and mind begin to develop, closely linked and impossible to separate. The boatman rows rhythmically, guiding the vessel through the thick and heavy veil of fog. Name is the spirit, form is the matter, together creating a complete living being. The river flows endlessly, carrying them downstream to where the senses are waiting for them. The body structure gradually perfects, preparing for the day to greet the outside world. And then the house of consciousness begins to open 6 windows, known as the 6 sense bases. The 5th link depicts a house with 6 windows thrown wide open to welcome the wind and light. 6 senses, including eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, begin to form their functions. They act like radars seeking signals, always craving to make contact with the external world. The once quiet house now becomes noisy with the sounds and images flooding into it. The child in the womb has enough tools to feel, ready for the very first touch of life. These 6 doors are truly 6 thieves that will lead the mind to chase after all temptations. But this moment, the house remains empty, waiting for the first guest to come and visit. When senses meet objects, a spark flares up, leading to the 6th link known as contact. The image of a couple cuddling, sharing a passionate kiss amidst the flower garden. This symbolizes the contact between subject and object, between the eye and the visual form. This collision creates powerful vibrations, awakening the entire nervous system. Like 2 flints rubbing together, the contact ignites the blazing fire of perception. The soft sensation of skin, the scent of hair, all are the results of the link of contact. We begin to distinguish if this world is hard or soft, if it is hot or if it is cold. This contact is the bridge bringing the outside world deep into the recesses of our minds. From that collision, feeling arises, leading us to the 7th link known as feeling. The image of a man struck by an arrow in his eye, screaming in agony and pain. This is the symbol of painful feeling, one of the 3 main sensations of human beings. Sometimes we feel extreme joy, as if tasting sweet honey upon the tip of a sharp knife. Sometimes pain tears the flesh, forcing us to struggle against the storms of emotion. And there are neutral feelings, neither happy nor sad, causing us to lose our vigilance. The arrow deep in the eye reminds us that sensation has terrible power over the heart. We become slaves to our emotions, always fleeing from pain and hunting for pleasure. This distinction of love and hate is the key pushing us towards the eighth link of the chain. That is craving, the direct source of rebirth, depicted by a drunkard in a stupor. He lifts the jar and drinks greedily, wine spills, yet his thirst remains unquenched. Desire is just like salt water. The more you drink, the more you thirst and crave for even more. When encountering pleasure, greed arises, wanting to hold onto it and never let go. When meeting unpleasantness, hatred arises, wanting to reject and destroy it now. That drunkard has lost all reason, only plunging into a delusion with no escape. Desire is an invisible but durable rope binding us to the cycle of samsara. For mental desire, we move to the action of possession at the ninth link, clinging. That is clinging, drawn as a man climbing a tree to pick the ripe and juicy fruits. His basket is full, yet he still greedily reaches out far to gather even more. Clinging is attachment, the act of holding on to what we love as our very own. We cling to wealth and fame, cling to personal views and the arrogant ego. The higher he climbs, the greater the risk. The branch could break at any moment. But greed has blinded him, making him forget the danger lurking right beneath his feet. This possession thickens karma, preparing materials for the future life. And when karma is full, it leads to the 10th link known as existence or becoming. The image of a heavily pregnant woman walking in a quiet and peaceful garden. The fetus is the result of craving and clinging, the seed of a new living being. All conditions have converged, just like a seed that has been sown into fertile soil. Becoming is the state of accumulating karma, the moment deciding the next life. Whether we want it or not, this energy will push us to be reborn in 6 realms. The mother rubs her belly, waiting, signaling that a new cycle of suffering begins. Time passes, the child is born amidst heartbreaking cries filled with sorrow and great pain. This is the 11th link, birth, the beginning of a human life full of turbulence. Being born means we must carry the burden of this heavy body of flesh and bones. We must endure hunger, thirst, heat, cold, and the tragic injustices of this life. The joy of welcoming a new life often comes with piled-up worries for the future. The child grows up, following the same old rut of his ancestors from the past. He loves again, hates again, competes, and creates countless new karmic obstacles. Birth is the door that opens to all the suffering we must bear in the days to come. Once we are born, we will inevitably have to face the final link of the chain. That is aging and death, the image of a bent old man walking towards the sunset. Old age strikes like a snowstorm, fading away all beauty and all vitality. Eyes dim, legs slow, memory fades, we become a heavy burden to our own selves. The joys of the past are now merely faded memories within the dreaming mind. Then sickness comes, torturing this weary body every single hour and minute. No one can avoid the cruel law of time and the inevitable destruction. Finally, death appears like an uninvited guest who arrives regardless of will. The image of a wrapped corpse carried to the cold cemetery for cremation. All wealth and fame we built throughout our lives must be left behind us forever. Relatives weep in farewell, but no one can accompany us to the other side. We become a lonely soul again, wandering in the dim and misty Bardo realm. And then Lord Yama laughs again. The wheel of Samsara continues to spin round. From this death, led by karma, we return to the initial state of ignorance. Blind again, creating again, reborn again, spinning around with no way out. That is the tragedy of human life, repeating through thousands of lifetimes endlessly. Is there any way to stop this colossal machine? Oh human, tell me, is there? Look up at the top corner of the painting, where the radiant light is shining. The world-honored one stands there, pointing towards the bright and pure full moon above. The moon symbolizes the truth of liberation, the stillness of nirvana. He taught that to break this chain, we do not need to destroy everything at once. Just sever the weakest link, and the entire wheel will collapse immediately. That link is ignorance or craving, which we have nurtured for so long in our hearts. Instead of blindness, let us light the lamp of wisdom to illuminate the path. Seeing the truth of impermanence, we will no longer cling greedily to things. When craving ends, clinging ends. When clinging ends, becoming and death shall cease to be. Do not remain a puppet in the hands of the death god and this law of karma. Be awake in the present moment, clearly identifying every emotion. Do not chase desire nor hide from pain, just observe them with a peaceful mind. When the mind is calm like a lake, the darkness of ignorance shall vanish itself. The wheel stops spinning, chains break, and our soul is free to soar high into the sky. No more birth, no more death, only eternal and unchanging peace remains here. The journey of the 12 links is the greatest lesson that everyone must learn. Understanding it, we master life, fearing not the death that is approaching near. Every moment of life is a chance for us to sow the seeds of enlightenment. Live fully with love and sharing, instead of possession and hatred for each other. Let go of the burden on your shoulders, so the soul may be light and at peace. The door to liberation is always open, waiting for our courage to step through.
It was never locked, we just had to push it.
The moon of truth always shines, even if we are lost within the darkest night. May all sentient beings escape from this endless cycle of suffering and pain. May wisdom and compassion lead us to the shore of peace and eternal safety. If you find this video meaningful, Please share to sow good seeds and subscribe now. We spent